So first and foremost, I believe there are roles and there are positions now within product management that you can start from you haven't built something before, right? There is now a path to start in product management. And so, again, the advice that I share with any of them, or what I'm looking for, is that natural curiosity. Are they intellectually curious? Do they want to know how things work? Do they understand the principles of empathy and defining problems? Do they have good grades, right? I think there's just certain things to validate people, to say they've got enough raw talent and creativity and intellectual capacity to take on and start to begin down the path of actually learning the craft of product management. So we're just looking for, curious people, intellectual people, people that have good personality and can work well and be flexible, and be self-aware. So you're always testing for that. You always want to listen to what do they struggle with, what are they looking to improve, because then I'm able to test and assess that self-awareness, that curiosity, that kind of desire to learn the craft, and I think that shows up in several ways as you dig in there. I had a guy recently that was asking for this very specific advice, and one of the things that he was able to do, and it's really amazing how it's turned out for him, but the advice that I gave, like the very tactical advice that I gave, is let's go and find an early stage startup, like, maybe pre-product market fit, pre-money, right? Pre-everything, and come in and say, I'll work for $12 an hour. I'll work for free. I need to get in the game. And again, like living in New York City, that's a bit tough. In this person's particular setup, he's married and his wife is so he's able to he has a little bit of flexibility. But what he did is he found a startup, and it was like, 3 or 4 guys in a garage, well, in an apartment, right, in New York City, but like early stage. And he did everything from playing the role of a product owner, even though he didn't realize it, to getting folks coffee, to just anything scrappy, $12 an hour, nothing. And then what we would do is him and I would meet, and I said, be sure you do this, go talk to customers, sketch this out, make sure you're getting into Jira and you're talking to engineers and understanding their flow. And so the net of it is get early enough where you need people to be around to hustle and to work and to do stuff, get involved, and you can start to shape a role that starts to look and feel like a product management role. And then what he did is, and then they actually, they did a pivot. They actually then sold the technology to a company. And all of a sudden he had a year and a quarter of experience that looked like an associate product manager. And now he's got a product manager job for a mobile company. What is it? It's like weather.com or something like that. So like a B2C app with funding, and they loved his experience. They loved his startup approach. So I think that was one very explicit example of just trying to figure out how to go do the work versus just showing that you're curious and you're smart and this and that, when maybe you're not coming straight out of Stanford or whatever it is. And so, because that's who we hired. We hired a lady from Carnegie Mellon that took a bunch of product management classes, and a guy from Stanford who was around technologies all day. And he went to some design thinking courses. And so he understood it. He spoke the language. He was ready to go. And a month in, they're both thriving. But this guy, he was like a tennis coach. He did this, he did that, but wanted to get into product management. And so we had to create a story, a narrative, and we had to create that experience that, a larger company would say, you're exactly what we need. A young guy that's scrappy and startup culture and had a successful exit, and like we spun it, right? But the reality is, like, he did learn stuff and he did have skills where he didn't before. Social media management, he did some tennis coaching, and now he's doing great, and he's now on a path to becoming a great PM.